Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. We got cars on track, ready to rock and roll for our first group of hot laps.
Yeah, on the backstretch right now, the 33, that's Rob Gilbertson. Out there right behind him, we've got the 3, and that is Chris Smith, I believe, back out in the 3 this year. And then the 11 out there would be Timmy Randolph. So that's going to be pretty awesome to see there. I saw both Mariquin Motorsports Pro Stocks here tonight. I asked who's going to be driving the other one. Ray Mariquin looked at me and he said, "Don't you wish you'd like to know?" And I said, "Yeah, that's what I'm here for." He goes, "We don't know yet. We'll figure it out when we figure it out."
So I do believe the 3D tonight, that is Chris Smith from Coalinga, California. We've got 2 3Ds, or is it just the one? No, the 3DT, that is Chris Smith. So we got Chris Smith and Ryan Smith. That looks like the straight-up 3D of Chris Smith from Coalinga, California. So let's see what he can put down here for group number 1. Group number 2 to be coming shortly. Looks like the 3D a little bit slick, a little greasy still there on the turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. That's the 11 machine of Mike Hearn, I believe. So Mike Hearn from Petaluma, California. That's that 11H machine. Timmy Randolph, that is a straight up number 11. That are right here in the Central Coast area. The 33 machine of Rob Gilbertson, a Santa Maria, California driver. As we get a little lap times right now, I don't have the names, but I do have some lap times. We got Ryan Smith, 3D, 16.640. Timmy Randolph, 16.928. Randy Miramontes, that's the 56 machine with a 17.343. And Rob Gilbertson with a 17.593.
Yeah, it's nice to see these Tri-State Pro Stocks back out here once again. Rob Gilbertson, his son, Chris, was running last week in the 33 mini stock. Unfortunately, had some steering issues. Ordered the proper parts. They shipped out on Monday. We're supposed to be here Tuesday. Delayed till Wednesday. Delayed till Thursday. No show yet, so he's not out here tonight. But here we go, green flag in the air for these guys to really get good hot laps and get some times in right now. So we'll see what the speed's going to look like on these guys tonight early here at Santa Maria Speedway.
Oh, Timmy Randolph right into the fence over there in turn number 2. Something must have gone wrong with that machine, because we know Timmy Randolph is a very capable driver. They got to get the caution flag out there because our officials don't see him as he's throwing the checkered flag. Heavy contact for the Mariquin Racing number 11.
Yeah,
heavy
it looks
into
like
the
he
fence.
slid directly from the entrance into turn 1. Tried to get it to turn, it didn't, and it went straight shot right under that Dunn Edwards paints sign there in the apex of 1 and 2. Hopefully Mariquin can get that thing fixed.
Can't help but think maybe he hit a little bit of a greasy spot over there on the top side of turns 1 and 2, but can't really see something shiny over there. So maybe something just going wrong with that right front and just pointed it straight to the fence.
If I know the Mariquins, though, they'll be on that thing in a hurry, and they'll get it running for hopefully for hot laps, if not for the main event tonight. On the track now, you've got the 197. That is Big Lick Gary Dutton. Right behind him, the 8. That's Dustin Harrington. Then you've got the 4 of Jerry Stewart and the 92 of Chad Schaefer. The 4T.
Brett Lawrence.
So that's another good one to put on there. So it's nice to see guys still showing up. 5N, that is Frank Nyback. There's the 3DT that you were talking about earlier, Chris Smith. Ryan's going to be running the white one. Chris is running the black one. That's good for us. Unlike some of the sprint cars that we get, the difference is an M or a G, but they all have the exact same paint scheme all the way through. So at least we'll be able to tell them a little bit apart this time.
So we're coming to the green flag here for hot lap session number 2 for the Pro Stock division. Getting them locked and loaded, crossing the line. Ryan Smith still has the fast time of the 16.640. Well, we got one a little bit sideways over here. That was the 197 to Big Lick Gary Dutton. As we got a couple of guys, that's Chris Smith and Frank Nyback over there racing in hot laps here. A little bit crossover move from this 3D of Chris Smith, making things a little bit interesting down there, but
Definitely testing their cars out, see what they could do. Last time Gary Dutton in the 197 was out here, had the lead by a bunch. Something broke, and unfortunately ended his night early. I know he wants to come out here and get a win at this track this year. So it's going to be exciting to see Big Lick out here in the 197.
as we talk about him, that 197 machine to the top in the speed charts, 16.598. Ryan Smith, the 3D with 16.640. Timmy Randolph, Rob Gilbertson, and Jerry Stewart, the super late model phenom that's won all kinds of super late model championships out here, comes home rounding out that top 5 in speed. So just like that, looks like we are going to head into mini stocks. So mini stocks making their way to the racing surface.
Mini stocks out here tonight. They had 19 cars last week. That was the last race of the season for a lot of these guys, so they scheduled other things. But the 23D of Daniel Campbell stepped up and said, you know what, we want to race again. Asked all the guys. They came over, asked Chad Weber, our director of race operations, as well as everybody else, said, hey, we want to run. They said, all right, come on out. You've been supporting the track all year long with a great car count, and they didn't disappoint again. Coming out here right now with 11 cars out here tonight, so it's nice to see that. We've got a couple cars that haven't been out in a little while. They're back out here. The 27 of Matt Worth, that's all the way from Oakland, California, that car, making that trip down here. That's that little yellow and black B back there on the back stretch. We've also got the 1K on the track. That's Justin Kluker. We've got the 1 of Logan Todd with Jimmy the Giraffe on the side. And you've got the 496 of Clem Lessie with the Pegasus machine. He's out there. Then we got 44 of Bubba Trammell. Justin Trammell, the 44. Bubba's out here put in work. I've got some stickers and stuff that he's brought out for us to toss out today.
Look out, we got one around over here in turn number 1. That looks like Logan Todd.
I'll see your one around. We got another one running around in 3 and 4.
They're over there doing battles and silhouettes and 360s and 180s and all kinds of good things over there.
Yeah, they're
the
trying
1
out
and the
for
1D.
Trying out for the 2028 Olympic breakdancing crew. Doing some spins over there.
So now we're going back to the green flag. So Clucker and the 1 of Logan Todd can refire those machines, and they're continuing here for hot lap session at number 1. On the speed charts right now, let's see what we got. Waiting on an update from My Race Pass. We got Logan Todd, 21. Make it Justin Trammell, 21.896. Clucker, 19.721. So now we're starting to wick it up just a little bit, getting that 19-second range.
Yeah, these guys, once this track gets very racy, some of that moisture gets off of the top, and they can really get those little itty-bitty tires to dig in. They could pull some pretty impressive laps out here for 2.3-liter 4-cylinder motors. So it's nice to see. For those that are tuning in right now on John Candy Live, you can see the 1 of Logan Todd with Jimmy the Giraffe hanging on the side there as he crosses the start-finish line.
So checkered flag is out here for session number 1. To the top, Justin Clucker, 19.721, 19.721. So that'll do it there for session number 1. Justin Trammell, second in speed, 19.727. Matt Worth in the 27 with 19.786. Logan Todd and Clem Lessie rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, the 1K of Justin Kluker coming out here. I know you kept calling him Clucker. So what did Daniel Campbell do? He went and got some of those squeaky chickens. So they're the Cluckers, and he brought them up here for us to toss out. So we're going to be doing that today during intermission. We've also got Hot Wheels to give out, stickers as well of Bubba Trammell and his crew. So we've got a whole bunch of goodies to be giving out tonight as appreciation to you guys, the fans, for showing up all season long. On the track now, second group. Familiar car, different driver tonight, the 4. That's now being driven tonight by Carson Jackson. Justin Jackson stepped out, let his son run that one. Justin's actually in the 98 of Gary Rayburn Jr. He's in that car tonight, so Justin Jackson jumped into that one, let his son jump into the 4 machine. We've also got the 77X of Aaron Calvert out there. Daniel Campbell in the 23D is out there as well. And then the 69 machine of Scott Turner. That car literally saw the dirt for the first time in almost a decade last week and is back out here again.
Yeah, we all know how capable that 4J is, man. He had one heck of a 2025 season, picking up the championship with 7 wins on the season. So Justin did a phenomenal job. Once again, big-time shout-out and great job to the 4J machine for doing one bang-up job for the reopening of the Santa Maria Speedway.
Yeah, he definitely had a very impressive mini stock season this year, letting his son jump in it now. Carson, who was running the 7J, that Volvo. So he's out here in a different car right now. They're trying to get things worked out as well. So it's going to be awesome to see what he can do in that machine tonight.
So Carson down there in the speed charts, down there in the top 10, but out front is still Kluker. All right, Justin Kluker, the 1K machine, 19.721. Justin Trammell, the 44 with a 19.727. Justin Jackson, Matt Worth, and Logan Todd, your top 5. And here comes our dwarf car division. These are the fun little buzzards right here.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of them tonight. 13 of these little guys out here. Now, a lot of these guys are getting ready for next week because they've got Petaluma or they have Bakersfield Speedway to both run. So some of these guys are going to be out and about running both of those classes. We also have the California State, Western States Dwarf Car Association points champion. That is the 14 for Bakersfield, California, none other than Hollywood J.D. Brown back out here tonight. He loves coming out here, and he wants to definitely celebrate with you guys his points championship this year.
Yes, congratulations once again to Bakersfield, California's Hollywood J.D. Brown for the Southern California Dwarf Car Association Championship. That is a mouthful, but you know, Colt Chandler, the young kid that announces for the Southern California Dwarf Car Association, man, that kid has got a bright future in front of him. He's really taking a hold of announcing and getting a hold of the trade, and he loves doing it. And I'm hoping good, bright things for that kid in the future.
Yeah, he was out here earlier this season, did a couple events out here. So, yeah, I see nothing but good from him. Try to help him out a little bit while he was here, give him some little tips of the trade. He picked them up and did very well. Speaking of tricks of the trade, the guy who's got a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve is that 33 machine. That is the 33N of Brendan Wiley. Bam Bam is one of those guys that as soon as he steps on the track, everybody's looking, going, I got to beat that guy. And that blue and orange machine is definitely that car to take a look at tonight.
So, Brandon Wiley, you said it just like that, to this top of the speed chart, 16.790. Joe Barquette in the 00 machine with a 17.106. Daniel Peters, the 36E, 17.110. Scotty Priest and J.D. Brown running out the top 5. That's something we're not used to seeing, is that 14 machine at the bottom of the speed charts.
Oh, don't get it twisted. He's not out here trying to put speed right now. He's trying to get that car to handle good, because when it comes to the money shots, that's when he's going to be ready to go.
That'll take us here to group number 2. So here we go with session at number 2. Antonio Miramontes, Adam Hurion, Brian Caldwell, Jeremy Miller, the number 3, the 2 of Gage Stickler, Mike Normally, the 76E, and the 88E of Jeff Brink.
Yeah, Gage Strickler back out here in his car. Normally, those you fans that have been out here, you've seen him over in our merchandise booth selling stuff. Well, he got his car put back together finally. He's out here tonight in that orange number 2 machine. So we'll see how he handles out here, not being in the car for a few months.
So the number 88E machine from Ventura, California, that is Jeff Brink. Jeff Brink rocking down the back straightaway, his first lap in the 88, waiting on the times. As my race pass is catching up right now. Here they come. Miramontes, the 88R machine, 17.097, 17.097. Off of turn number 4, that cool looking number 3 of Jimmy Miller, another Ventura car. He's down there, 17.89859, 17.859.
Jimmy Miller in the 3. For those of you guys that have been here before, he was racing the yellow and blue number 3 for the longest time. Had very similar paint scheme to the Dale Earnhardt Wrangler car. Transferred over into this number 3 machine, all white. Took a little bit for us to get used to seeing him in that, but he's in that machine tonight. Still got that same beautiful yellow right rear tire that he likes to, the rim that he likes to run out there. So we can definitely tell it's Jimmy.
So it looks like that's going to do it for the Dwarf Car division here tonight. Next out on track, we will have Hobby Stocks. So Hobby Stocks will be first out. And it looks like the first car on track, set to be your 2025 Hobby Stock champion here at the Santa Maria Speedway. Dakota Brown driving the Sugar Boom Boom number 78 machine. So we'll... I think with just his showing up and paying that back gate fee, he's pretty much sewed up the deal here tonight.
Yeah, pretty much that does it for Dakota Brown on that 78. He locked it in. But right behind him, we've got the 88. That's Corbin Kuma, but Corbin Kuma's also going to have a friend that's going to be looking at that tonight. JoJo will be in that car, maybe do some laps tonight, hopefully, but we will see. Right behind them, coming across the start-finish line, that's the 0, Spencer Vasquez. In that ride. Then we've got a couple teammates here. You've got the 15 of Mike Frazier in it tonight. The old man hopping behind the wheel, showing his young guns how to do it. And right behind him, a car that's making its first appearance out here with its new wrap, the 17S of Nick Diani. That car may look familiar to some of you guys. It was once yellow. It was also had a number 1 on it and an N, because that's Nicholas Johnson's old car, multiple-time track champion at Bakersfield Speedway in the 1N. And around he goes out there, but, you know, dirty burnouts are what he does best, and his crewmen kind of were having some fun with each other and paying bets as how long is it going to take before he ruffles the fenders on that brand new machine.
Well, it looks like it didn't take him long, and if you do look inside of that vehicle, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 seats in that car, so that is a 2-seater. I can't quite tell. Looks like we do have a little glare of another visor in there, so 2 people are in that 2-seater Hobby Stock here tonight. That car right there picked up the track championship at the Bakersfield Speedway with Nicholas Johnson behind the wheel. As he's getting a little point to the infield, said, no, I'm not going in there. And we've got the officials out here. We do have a little debris. Looks like that was on the outside here, turn number 1. That's going to do it here for session number 1 for the Hobby Stock division. As cars are exiting the racing facility there in turn number 3.
Yeah, we would like to formally congratulate Dakota Brown in the 78 on his track championship this year. It's great to see that man come out here from Bakersfield, get some points, and end up winning the championship out here. Right now for Hot Lap session number 2, we've got the 18A from Grover Beach. That's a Tom's Auto sponsored machine of Aaron Bruce. And where's Bruce's group out over there in turn number 1? I see his crew over there rooting him on, going 18A to the front. Well, there's Aaron Bruce. Hopefully he'll take it up to the front tonight. Also, we've got the 66 Phil Stutzel from Signal Hill in a 66. That's an interesting car.
Also out there, the 174 machine, talking about interesting looking cars. That looks like awfully a lot, very, very similar to an IMCA stock car. But out here running the 174 machine, that is Eric Simmental out of Taft, California. So just down the hill, or should I say over the hill from Taft, California. Really getting up on the bar right there in Terry Henry's Race Prep. Ice Industrial Services, number 174 for Ethan Dotson Racing.
Yeah, right behind them, you got the 91C. That's Marcus Wenkum in the Wenkum-sponsored machine. Those guys make some motors and make some horsepower for a lot of the guys that come out of the Central Valley. So it's nice to see him to be able to come out here and you know, play with the guys and race the guys that he builds motors for.
Absolutely. That was your 2024 track champion at the Bakersfield Speedway. As on the speed charts right here, we've got Mike Frazier, the old guy, showing him how it's done. 18.045 there in heat or session number 1. He's quick time overall. Dakota Brown, 18.122. Aaron Bruce in the 18A machine, 18.164. Corbin Kuma, and rounding out the top 5, the 174 of Eric Simmental.
Okay, if Mike Frazier in the 15F just set fast time, he's going to plug that thing into the trailer right now and just walk around and tell his boys, look, I was faster than you and I can prove it.
Yeah, it's something to win hot laps, but if he can win a heat race, then we could be talking. So, but still good for him to go out there and do a great job right there in the hot lap sessions, as it looks like we are ready for our 305 sprint cars.
Yeah, the regional 305s are going to be a fun class tonight. These guys are getting ready for some big races coming up as well. So they're going to come out here, put some work in, definitely do some last-minute adjustments on these rides to see what they have to get ready for what they call money season, which is usually October, November, December, and then February. They take the month of January off, and then they get back after it for a couple more big money races in February. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yes, the first car out on track from Lincoln, California. That is Andy Smith driving the number 7 machine. Good-looking race car. Talking about good-looking race cars, right behind him, that number, I just missed the number, 28. That 28. That is David Knott from Fresno, California, the DKI entry. That is a great-looking race car right there, the all-white with the black numbers. Love those high-contrast race cars like that. And then also, always great-looking, that 18 machine for Lance Jackson.
Yeah, and then in 1 and 2 right now, you've got the 88J, Joe DeLeese from Fresno. He's out here as well, so it's nice to see that car. And I love these cars because I can see the numbers on them. Sprint cars, if they don't have a wing on them, it's a hard time seeing the number because it's usually only on the tail tank. So it's nice to see them on the wing. I can pick them up, be able to tell who's who. But it's nice to see these guys out right now. They're going to put some laps down in a hurry here in just a moment.
So let's see what we have for 305 sprint car racing action. Don't quite have track record right now for the 305 sprint cars, as we are getting them all checked in and cross Meyer race pass. Andy Smith, David Knott, Joe Delisle, and Lance Jackson here for group number 1.
As these cars are making another lap in the books, I stepped outside the booth to listen to these cars, something that you can't quite hear when these guys are going. The exit of turn 3 and 4, right now, the exit of 4, still real slick over there. Getting tricky. You can hear these guys spinning the tires, getting the RPMs up, and then they're catching something out of turn number 4 to shoot them across the front stretch. But if they don't catch it facing the right way, you know, calamity can happen with these cars because they have nothing but downforce on them.
So it is very, very interesting, the track conditions right now. It's a little bit slick early as the sun is still out. You can see the back straightaway is all glazed over, all the sun baking on the back straightaway. But we know when those high tide comes here on the coast, this track can change in a drop of a dime, and we can have hooked up racing surface like you wouldn't believe later on in the heat, especially with these smaller tire cars that are out here with the hobby stocks, and pretty much everybody else is running that G60 tire, so that's a little bit smaller tire. Might bring the moisture back up, and we're going to have a very hooked up fast racetrack for the end of the night.
Yeah, these hobby stocks with the G60. We've also got the mini stocks with those 7-inch wide DOT tires. And then you got dwarf cars. That tire is no bigger than 7 inches wide, too. So there's not a lot of wide racing patches on these tires out here tonight, with the exception of these sprint cars. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they can do with them. Right now, you can see on the front stretch the 36B. That's Kevin Barnes Sr. getting pushed off, followed by the 86G of Eric Greco Jr.
So Eric Greco Jr., that is the driver taking over for Chris Ennis in the sideways design entry. That car is very, very fast and capable. Once again, we're very unfortunate what happened to Chris Ennis, but glad to see him still fielding a car. So great to see that. And got a good, capable driver, Eric Greco Jr. I'm believe he's still looking for that first elusive win here in the 305 Sprint Car Series.
Right behind them, you've got the 18 machine, or the 15 machine. That's Mr. Point A to Point B, the former drag racer turned sprint car driver of Reno Felicioni from Visalia. He's back out here once again. He told me at the end of the season I can't call him a former drag racer because he is a sprint car driver. And I said, okay, if you think you've earned your stripes, buddy, you've got it.
Sprint car driving is where it's at. That's where the ranks like Kyle Larson and all the fast guys, some of the fast guys out of NASCAR, come out of dirt track racing ranks. And when they got started right here in the 305. This is about the lower division, the entry level, if you will, for full-size sprint car racing with a 305 power plant, but the same size everything else. Everything else is same exact, the chassis, the tires, shocks, all the packages. So this is where you get your start. So if you're going to get into sprint car racing, this is where you do it right here, the 305 sprint cars.
Yeah, definitely. This is an entry level. We can no longer call these budget-friendly cars because if you're racing, there's no such thing as a budget-friendly race car. Doesn't matter if you're running a go-kart all the way up. No budget-friendly. So checkered flag is out for heat race number 2. These guys are going to pull into the pits because we're going to get ready to start qualifying these guys right in just a second.